Championship Semifinals between Bethany Lutheran College and Maryville University. I am Mazel, joined by Alk Battery, my great friend, and we're going to be diving in game number 2 very quickly. But man, after coming off that game number 1, Alk, there's some crazy stuff that we witnessed. And as Niall said on the desk, Maryville, stay away from Barrett.
Yeah, some of the objectives were not the cleanest execution from Maryville, but hey, we get to see kind of their prowess again, right? They end up taking a really nice fight, and we're going to get right into draft here, Mazel. I think that when you now see them on red side, Bethany have been waiting to try and play on red side. They have a few bans that they have to get rid of, but I wonder what their answer is. They'll have counter pick, they have access to a lot more, and so I wonder what they're going to get here for being on the opposite side.
Yeah, and something we talked a little bit about in the break is needing to see Wizardish and Hollywood pop off. They are a 2 duo down there against, yes, a very strong duo in Evan RL and Shady, but they are a huge driving force of the Bethany squad, and we'll see if they can get some picks for themselves this time around. The Gwyn obviously banned away by Maryville. Can't have that going through. Nunu as well, going to be banned away by Maryville. And then for Bethany, they take away the Nocturne and the Lee Scent.
Interesting. They want to get rid of some of these picks for Spyrax and Chippies, make sure that they don't have it. When I see this Nunu ban, I'm sure a lot of people at home are like, why are we seeing Nunu ban? Not only is Hunter just like someone who has played a ton of Nunu, but he, I mean, like we're looking at, the prevalence of Udyr. I wonder if, Bethany have kind of just been saving that, right? They're like, okay, all of these Udyr matchups, let's just play the Nunu. We got to see it a couple days ago when they were playing their match against Toronto. They did a fantastic job on this Nunu. So already I like that Maryville are getting that, getting away from that. And I wonder what we'll see from the support pool. We were talking about the bot lane a little bit earlier, and with Udyr ban, Thresh is still available and such a high priority between these two.
Please, yes!
Woo!
Thresh coming in. Oh my god. Oh, this is so exciting. All right, draft's done. Let's go. No, just joking.
Wrap it up.
But seriously, Maryville being able to pick up Thresh that was not banned. As you said, the Udyr and the Akali were the final 2 bans for either team. Thresh is a huge playmaking opportunity here for Maryville itself, but I gotta see what the response is from Bethany. What are their first 2 picks here?
Yeah, we'll see if they're ones to pick up the Varus. We haven't seen it so far from them. I wouldn't be surprised to see it, but so far, literally Wizardish and Hollywood have been playing Kai'Sa, Sivir, like Engage. Like they're literally there to be much more supportive and very much trying to pump out damage when we get to these team fights. But Thresh, a fantastic job, and we get to see it. We get to see the Viego that the desk has been waiting to see the whole tournament. We saw it a little bit in round in 16. It's been piloted by Rovex in the mid lane. It got one jungle game, but it ended up losing. So we'll get to see who's going to be the one to take this great champion.
Very interesting combo of lock-ins for Bethany for their first 2 picks. That Nautilus as well is going to be huge for Hollywood. We'll see on the other side though is Chippies. I guess Spyrax too could get the Renekton in mid lane, but we get the Renekton coming in for Maryville. My eyes are on the Varus though. Evan RL is a mean Varus.
Yeah, he is such a great I love Evan RL's story of, he's been on a ton of collegiate programs. He's also gone to, I think LLA, if I'm correct. He's played in, internationally. He's played a bunch of different games on different teams, and he has just really brought out his roster to just round out as an AD carry. He plays everything. He plays enchanters like the Senna and the Seraphine, but he's also can play these hyper carries and also for these lane dominance. So I love that Evan is picking this up. We'll have to see what Bethany are going to take for the response, and you're talking about it earlier, Renekton for Spyrax or for Chippies. I've loved Spyrax's play on melee bruisers, so we'll have to see what he's going to pick up here.
And there's still some options available for Chippies. We've seen Vladimir look pretty good last game. He's also got the Gnar that you highlighted, a couple things that could come through there for them. I do find the Shen interesting. I did feel like it had strong presence, at least in that first game, but it wasn't necessarily the driving force there. It was kind of a reactionary tool for them. But with the Viego, maybe it changes a little bit of that aspect of it. Maybe it gets a little bit more aggressive in that term. We'll see though, because second phase of bans is already coming through. Morgana banned away by Bethany, as well as the Kai'Sa banned away by Maryville.
Yeah, I think Bethany, they're going to just try and get rid of some AP junglers because, I mean, Renekton is such a deadly combo with things like the Morgana. I wonder if we start to see with more of these champions being banned and what they go for this on the second pick here, if, Odorange starts to dive deeper into his pool. He has a ton of Taliyah games from this season alone. He has a ton of Lilia games as well, so Maryville, they have some options here, but they're going to try
in there too.
Oh no. Oh man, Elite, look, Riot has not been the kindest to Elise the past couple patches. She's getting nerfed on the next one. She's not having a good time. Yeah. So if we see it, I'd be surprised, but you know, anything's possible.
It is indeed.
Oh, do it. Yes.
No. Oh my goodness. All right. So I know I was super excited about the Thresh for Shady, and that's all good and well, but now get the Heimerdinger coming in for Bethany in game number 2 of this best of 5 semifinals.
Now, Mazel, I got the Tark Tech. I've been talking to Colomer.
All right.
This is it from Wizardish. They played some of this in CLOL as well, where they're playing Heimerdinger in the bot lane to really just neutralize the lane, and he told me coming into this match, let them play Varus. I dare them to. We'll see what happens. So Bethany, exactly. So we'll have to see what Maryville ends up responding with. They pick themselves up the GP, and gonna have to watch what ends up happening. You have double AD solo laners. You have a really kind of weak AP laner, AP jungler, unless she gets very, very far ahead early. So Maryville going to have to index on that laning phase a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the Taliyah pick here for Odd Orange, and especially like how much strength they have in the solo lanes. If they can, get the GP going or the Renekton, either one, it's gonna be really, really nice for Maryville's pace around the game and around the map. That's what we've highlighted for them, at least, is being something that's so huge in how they like to play the game, is getting that control and just not letting it go. So we'll see if Odd Orange can be that catalyst there with the Taliyah. Gonna have a nice little stable bot lane.
Oh my god,
it's gonna be on the other side, I feel like, now, as we get Rammus coming in too. The Dark Tech abounds, Alec.
Oh my god. Okay. That's a really great answer into Taliyah. I mean, it's a sticky jungler. It's a very good tank. And I'm sure a lot of people are like, Rammus, he's the armor champion. Same thing with Malphite, right? But like, he gets a ton of magic resist from his W as well. And I mean, he just stops Taliyah from functioning. He has a really great jump. Same thing with Varus. So Maryville have a really tough composition, I think, to execute. A lot of low-ranged carries, but when you look on the side of Bethany, the champions themselves give them a lot of access to controlling a space of the map. Obviously, Heimerdinger is a big one of them, and we'll have to see how Bradley ends up playing this Viego, because that is a huge proponent in trying to get the resets. Niles talked about it a little bit earlier. You get one reset, and the champion just goes off.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I gotta dive in a little bit more about this Renekton Viego matchup, because this is gonna be insane. We put a lot of focus down towards the bot lane, the 2v2. It is gonna be Wizardish on that Heimerdinger this time around, so maybe just trying to neutralize that and stop Evan RL and Shady from really being able to have a handle on that bot lane. We are getting the early 4-man presence down here on the bot side for Bethany, though. They're gonna be spotted out there. Shady's too quick on the ward. They don't even get the ward on the other side of it, so they will just get a reset. And Bethany's tricks early on will not sink.
Yep, it's all about who gets to that bot brush first. If you can try and cheese out a kill, maybe a summoner spell. Opposite side, Maryville, they're gonna push in, try to get a little bit of vision for themselves. So like that they did that, like that they're trying to protect their side and try to get a read onto Hunter. Most important part here for Bethany is trying to stop their shot caller. When you're looking at, talking to some of the players on the team, Hunter is the guy to kind of lead this team to victory. Yeah. He's the brains behind the brawn here for them. So love to see that, and wonder what we'll see from Odd Orange, because I mean, we were talking about it a little bit earlier. Taliyah is it's his most played champion from this season by far. And he's definitely has some prowess on it, but in this team composition, I have a few questions waiting to be answered.
And questions for me is what Shady does in this bot lane right now, because
it's not TK this time. So
I know it's not TK. You actually can roam and do things, do Shady things.
Yeah.
But I really do want to see how early Shady gets unlocked. I feel like that's going to be huge for Odd Orange's success. It has been a lot in the past as well, but that lane specifically is like, it's going to be locked down. Is Shady going to try and stay and level some of that pressure out a little bit, or is he just going to try to get those leads somewhere else?
Yeah, the important part here, I think, when you look at what Shady is able to do this game, is they have not only good kill threat, but Spyrax should be able to clear the wave a little bit easier than Bradley will, especially earlier on without a few items under their belt. So the mid priority for Maryville is going to be very important, how they not only activate Shady, but also Spyrax in this game. And again, a huge carry for this team when he's kind of allowed space to do so. And with this matchup, I'm expecting for him to he has the counter matchup. He needs to be able to perform here.
He really, really does. And Already getting some early warding towards the top side of the map for Spyrax, trying to get as many advantages in the mid lane as possible, but you do see just the same side jungle pathing going on for both of these junglers, Hunter and Odd Orange, going down towards this bot side, potentially looking for some fireworks down that way.
Yep, we'll end up seeing what happens. I think it was a leashless clear, but he's actually just gonna gank.
Gonna turn right around, gets Spyrax's flash. It's not gonna matter though. Spyrax getting very low, uses the slice and dice to get away. Odd Orange's response is here now, trying to get some damage down himself, but Spyrax lives, but does have to burn the summoner spell.
Ooh, and look at this. Shady's on the way here. They could try to make this play onto Bradley. Shady could flash here, but looks like they're just going to try and push this wave out, help Spyrax, and now they'll have access. Look at this. At this point, they can just move wherever they want. Hollywood has also decided to walk over, so a huge scuttle contest coming through.
Oh my goodness, they are just trying to press Maryville right now. This is not the early game you were looking for as the Talia. Wizardess flashes, tries to get the rockets over the wall, but it's not going to hit Odd Orange. Odd Orange gets out. That 2 members now that have survived by the skin of their teeth from Maryville, and Bethany really having a lot of control early on.
All right, that was very, very close. I mean, if whoever is the first one on the play there, the first one to make the kind of the go button is the one to try and win that. And Bethany are the ones to take control in that situation. They get themselves the flash away from Odd Orange, which is huge, but no ignite onto Hollywood kind of takes away some of their pressure from potentially finding a kill onto this 2v2. So wonder what we'll get from this. And you see now, Hunter, I mean, he'll have a little bit of a lead because Odd Orange is going to have to back. He's already finished some of his items, but who's the first one to get to that scuttle with the priority for a chippies for right now? I wonder if Maryville, they're just going to start running straight into the river here.
Yeah, just try to get something at least. And I got to say, the top lane matchup been very quiet, but we do have a small lead there for chippies, and being able to have that on the GP is really important. But the thing is, you're getting really close to that level 6 mark for Solura, and I'm looking for Bethany to play with it. Although the ones making the play is Shady with the thresh, and Hollywood's gonna go down first. Blood goes to the man himself, as Evan RL is gonna pick up the second. That's a quick twofer for Maryville.
That's one of those moments when you're playing as Nautilus and you're like, I really wish I was Thresh so I could just cancel taking the hook here. That puts him in such dangerous position. He's not able to instantly activate his Aftershock. We'll see how long it takes for him, but I mean, he's already taking damage. This great hook, the Ignite comes out, he takes 1. It's too late for the Aftershock.
Right,
the damage has already gone through.
Very unfortunate for the bot lane of Bethany, but they still are the Heimerdinger Nautilus. We'll see how that works out further on into the game. You really maybe hope for that level 6 from Solura, trying to get down there to help out Hollywood, but did not accomplish that one yet.
Yeah, I think the big thing that you see from that kill, not only the gold influx that's going to move towards Maryville, but their bot lane wanted to take a reset at certain points, but Wizardish and Hollywood are keeping the correct amount of lane pressure, keeping them under their turret to not allow for that to happen. I'll have to hold that. Bradley.
Oh, Shady barely misses the death sentence, but it doesn't matter because Bradley's going to go low, ticking, dead. Spyrax gets the kill.
And this is now starting to kind of trickle down from that literal kill from not even a few minutes ago. Because they were able to take a reset and mobilize their members across the map, Shady's able to roam mid lane and find that kill onto Bradley. So really important that we saw that bot kind of kerfuffle end up kind of going in their favor, but Maryville immediately trying to kind of capitalize on the mistake.
I think that's something that's super important in Maryville's play, especially. They still always realize where there's an in, and usually they can execute on it. Here, Bethany have found their first in, as they're going to get the objective under their belt. 1 dragon, and it will be an Infernal Dragon to start us off. No Infernal Soul, unfortunately.
Sad. We might get one. Look, if it's not this series, it's the next one. We'll have to wait and see. You know, there's still a game 3.
It's in there somewhere. It's in the script somewhere.
Yeah, we'll have to ask when it's going to be scripted in, but it'll be there. We'll get an Infernal Soul at one point tonight, later, whenever. But I mean, Bethany, despite the gold differential, right? And it's just that Heimerdinger just permanently pushes his wave. He just puts down the turrets. If he really wants to cheat for it, he can just spam W, and you suddenly have once he hits level 6. he just presses W on the wave and it's gone. And then you can just move for it. So early Drake's going over in their favor. What are Maryville going to do here, right? There, we've already seen that Hollywood is moving over. We see that Spyrax is going to take this time to try to get some vision over on the top side of the jungle, trying to spot Hunter. But how do they utilize and how do they leverage this Renekton to get themselves a little bit more in this game?
And with both these supports having such prevalence to roaming and trying to get active on the map, you've seen Shady be more successful, at least early on, where Hollywood was staying in the lane. They did have that death kind of
oh my god
took things back a little bit, but that's a ghosted up Rammus for Hunter as Spyrax just gets the entire party with him, but they already take down Bradley. And the members for Bethany are just gone out. Did you see where they went? Because they tried something in mid lane. It didn't work out.
GP Ultimate just decided, yeah, no, that's not happening, buddies. We're not doing that. It's a sudden 3-man. They weren't expecting for Shady to be here. And again, the ability for Shady to roam is just so massive for Maryville. The bot lane ended up going down, and we're still starting to continue to feel those effects. They get the Rift Herald. They're going to get more kills. And that is going to hurt here for the side of Bethany. They are down so much gold. They're going to continue to accelerate this early game for themselves. And, I mean, Rammus is trying to find some kills where he can, but honestly, it's feeling more and more like, where's Viego in this game?
Yeah, I completely agree. With Rift Herald going down as well to Auto Orange, the pace is just turning up right now for Maryville. And Shady has found Hollywood, who has no health anymore, and it's just going to go down. Shady's going to get that second kill of the game for himself, as the ulti tower did come down for Wizardish, but not going to be enough damage, not enough of a proactive response. It's more of trying to get them to bait into the fight, and it doesn't happen.
Yep, and that's just, you know, that's just the prowess coming through. I'll hold this. I think Hunter's going to look for it.
It's the third time's the charm. Hunter's trying to get Spyrax here.
Oh no!
Just going to walk away.
The saddest armadillo just walks away, head in hands. Okay. The gank goes wide. That's just, it's so painful because you look at Rammus and he has like he doesn't have sad voice lines, but they're definitely like very solemn.
Yeah, they're not the happiest.
Look at the ghost. Aw.
Super good, but then it just turns all the way around. The Stand United doesn't even complete there either.
I'm surprised that we actually don't end up seeing the, you know, the Heartbreaker ultimate just try to go for something. You know, it is based on missing HP, so you could try to go for an execute. It's just one and you're done, right? You get a bunch of healing from taking the passive soul. So I wonder if Bradley was maybe a little bit uncomfortable with some of the damage, but we'll have to see. They're trying to force this onto mid lane right now. Bradley, really good job.
Yeah, really good moves there. Unfortunate for Hollywood yet again. He just gets exploded, Alk. He tried for the hook and Shady said, no way, Jose, I've got the death sentence. And they're going to pick up 2 more kills as Spyrax goes under tower. There's the Heartbreaker, but it's breaking Bradley's heart as it's 9-0 right now. Maryville University in complete control.
6,000 gold. They'll get themselves the mid-tier 1. And that right there, I mean, this is basically just the effects of what happens when you lose that bot 2v2 so early on. When you're in a position of power, it just completely turns on its side when you have good players facing up against you. So Shady and Evan doing a fantastic job. They have a CS lead, and Shady's just activated across the map. When I was looking into the series, when we were coming in, I was saying, hey, bot lane for Wizardish and Hollywood needs to be on point because Evan and Shady are fantastic laners within themselves.
This is
and we'll
so
see this now.
Hollywood.
There's no shock. There's no aftershock here, so you can't live for all that long. And Hunter, like, he uses the ultimate, but guess what? You have to jump over to Leo walls.
Yeah.
And this whole time, Shen is up against his turret. He can't do anything. Evan is the same thing. He's pushing Wizardish under turret, and all around is a full court press for Maryville.
Shady just broke Hollywood's ankles. I'm just saying. Like,
yeah.
Stopped with the death sentence to dodge the hook. I mean, that's just too nice. There's the Talia wall on the bot side, though, as they were trying to find Evan RL, but didn't find it. The Dark Passage is going to bring him over the wall, and now Bethany are completely caught. They've got the TP coming in. Shady on the Thresh is on a killing spree. Wizardish does get Auto Orange, so they get something back. Bethany get their first kill of the game, but Wizardish is in some deep trouble here as Shady's going to go for the hook. Hits the tower. Chippies wants it. Flashes forward, and that's a kill for Chippies on a killing spree now.
Oh, that is such close timing right there. Not only is the Shen ultimate coming through, but it was 1 second before Wizardish could utilize the stopwatch that he would have gotten for free. So such a Such a close fight. Heartbreaker available almost for Bradley here. If Chippies wants to stay, it is just going to be
go for that
getting away from this. He might. This is going to be close. Bradley's very strong despite what's happened.
Get a little trading down. I even had a Hunter coming down as the soccer ball ready to go just in case they wanted to turn around the fight. But that will lead to another dragon secured by Bethany. So although they're down 11 kills, they're down a lot of gold, they're still taking some of these objectives, which is good news for them.
All right, I'm gonna be honest, Maryville, this should have been your dragon. This 100% should have been your dragon. I love that Bradley ended up getting a lot of pressure by utilizing the ultimate, but Shady is still relatively high HP. You can move in with your jungler. They had to reset Chippies, which is a little bit awkward, but they say, hey, we don't need the dragon right now. It's a Cloud Soul. We're just going to continue to stack Drakes like we did in the last game. And look at the positioning here. Look at how they're corralling Wizardish into Auto Orange.
Yep, there is just no way.
Yeah, goodbye.
When you see 2 members show up on the bot side, that there's one on top of you and there's one above you, you're just like, all right, I'm just gonna see what happens here. And unfortunately, Wizardish ain't able to pull anything back from it. They also look like they might lose. No, it's not gonna go down just yet, but Chippies is getting very, very close to cracking that top tower.
Oh man, and this is just the power of Thresh, right? We didn't get to see it too much, but when you control a ton of vision as Thresh, you just basically, your hooks become so dangerous. You go over the wall, you can find things under turret, and we saw right there. He's looking on a Hollywood. He's looking to try and threaten them. And yet again, Maryville get to take a lot of their jungle. They then get to decide for Bethany, hey, you're going to be playing a ton of Fog of War. Have fun with this one.
Trying to find the enjoyment out of it. We are getting the move to the bot side. The unfortunate part for Bethany right now is like their side of the map is not necessarily their side of the map. As you see, they have 2 members below Maryville in between their own base.
Wait a minute. They might go for something here. Rammus and Viego.
Viego's pretty far away though. Rammus goes in, trying to get some damage onto Shady. They do also find the side engage. Solura did get the taunt onto Auto Orange, but doesn't matter. There's the ulti from Hollywood, and they have found their second kill of the game. They get Shady, they get the shutdown as well onto Wizardish.
Okay, that's one, and some fancy feet coming out from Hunter. Wizardish tries to land the stun. It's not enough. Bradley, he was on Thresh, but he's back out. I mean, cool, you got a kill. I don't know how much this goes for it, right? They got a kill, and they immediately backed off. Hunter was super low, and they weren't able to try to connect that into something more. They couldn't go for the Rift Herald, so they'll take a reset. Same thing with Maryville here, and I wonder who, if anybody, is going to try and contest for this Rift Herald.
And the roughest part for me is like the kills are rough. The early game has been rough, but it's also that Maryville, using this pressure, using this lopsided map state, at least they've also gotten the CS leads, and so you're losing in both those fashions. And Bethany are able to find those objectives. They've gotten 2 dragons now, right? They've gotten a couple kills, as you said, but what does it really do for you, especially with the amount of force that Maryville is rocking right now?
Yeah, I mean, there's an item advantage for almost every single laner. There is just a level differential in a ton of spots here when we're looking at the mid and bot lane. So really strong use. Evan has decided to go for the on-hit Varus. I don't know how much use he'll get out of it because of the game state currently for Maryville, but we'll have to wait and see. As right now, I mean, it is literally the solo lanes that are doing it. And obviously I want to give credit over to Shady. He's having such a massive impact in this game. We'll have to see what Bethany are able to do. They're down 11,000 gold.
Oh my god. All right, he pops the tower here. You're going to be able to get some damage back. But yeah, the golden is not going to save you today. Wizardish goes down to Spyrax.
I mean, that's your wave clear gone, because Wizardish is the only one. They're going to go for this. They need to find it.
They got Chippies here. Heartbreaker comes out. Not going to be enough damage off the top, but Chippies goes down anyways. Hunter will survive, but they have lost their mid tower and potentially their mid inhib as well. They have 4 members and a Rift Herald charging down their base.
Rift Herald right now, Shelly is not happy. She just animation canceled like 3 different charges. She's like, please let me have this. I need to be able to do this. They'll break open the mid inhibitor, like you said.
They gave her the inhib. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that was nice of them, but it's really early on. It is still, I mean, again, it is 11,000 gold at this point, and it is basically like, okay, Maryville, how do you close this game out? Are you going to do it cleanly? Are you going to keep looking for these kills? It's awesome to see that Bethany are still looking for it, but like they're going to have to go for super Hail Marys at this point where, Hunter's coming over the top, coming in from the top rope, trying to find something on Rammus. Same thing with Wizardish. You need to be able to set up space. Similar to kind of how Victor tends to operate. You need Heimerdinger to be there and available with all those turrets before the fight can really go in your favor.
Very interesting pull here by Bethany. They are fully committing to top side of the map right now. They're
Death push time.
Dragon.
Let's go, boys.
Does not matter that much. They want to try and catch chippies. They want to find some advantages for themselves. They're actually going to go ahead and back. I thought maybe they would commit to this tower as a couple members are still staying around. But also on the other side, Maryville's responding perfectly. They've got all their members, all their strong members with all the gold on the bot side of the map near the dragon with the towers going down. Like, this is really, really nicely done from Maryville.
Yeah, that's one of those plays for Bethany where they just need to hope that Chippies is like super aggro and super eager. He's like, hey man, I really need this one wave. Even though I'm already up like 4 or 5 of them on Solora, I just need it. He just correctly gives it up, drops the ego a little bit. Oh, Hunter over the wall.
Yeah, he does go in on Chippies. Chippies has the oranges, getting very low, taking a lot of damage here. Does have the barrels. Barrels gets canceled. Shield bow does get popped though. Hunter really wanted to make that work, but now they have to respond to the other side. They're just gonna lose an inhib.
Yeah, they're gonna lose this inhib. I think Bethany are going to just do that. You see, they're just throwing out taunts. If they want, what they can do here is they can continue to try and push onto this top wave. It looks like they're just gonna reset, and I think they're just gonna try and maybe make this dragon their last play. I don't suggest it, as I mean, you can try and hope that you can scale later into this game, 11,000 gold down and with 0 structures, but I mean, at this point, like, this is just Maryville. It was a huge stranglehold. They're trying, like, Bethany's just doing everything, throwing the kitchen sink in there as well, but nothing's really coming up.
Yeah, they've just got to find some advantages, at least on Wizardish and Bradley. If we can find some damage, some items, you're getting close to second item there for Bradley. That's where things maybe start to turn around for you, at least in microcosms. But the dragon going over to Maryville gives them a little bit of extra, speed to catch up to you with all this gold advantage that they have. And it's kind of reminding me a little bit of last game where, like, you're bleeding out as Bethany, but you've got to try to find ways to stop it. But it's so hard to do so because they are just relentlessly pressing into you.
Yeah, I will say last game was a much bigger hope than maybe I would have right about now.
It was 100%. 100%.
Yeah, but yes, it is one of those situations where Bethany are trying, and this time around, it's not quite working out in their favor. Maryville are very correctly playing around. Hey, what does Bethany want to do right now? Oh, they want to try and make a pick onto our solo laner. Let's just take the opposite side of the map away from them. So. Yeah. Getting a little bit desperate here for the side of Bethany. They are slowly bleeding out. I mean, they've basically given up a ton of gold for themselves, but they're waiting. Here comes the engage.
They found it. A lot of damage on Solura, but Solura doesn't go down.
That's one.
Odd Orange is the one that goes down. They found the cannon barrage onto Wizardish. He gets out. There's another kill. Evan RL goes down. The reset's coming through, and they're going to find another shutdown. Bradley gets 800 gold in his pocket, and they are setting like crazy right now as Bethany are able to take the fight in their base, get 4 members of Maryville off the back of it.
Okay, and what was basically like, hey guys, we really need to find something here. Bethany find it at the very last moment. That's a triple kill for Bradley. They'll lose a Nexus turret and a ton of damage. I wonder what that means for them. So you take a look, they got a lot of gold. They'll get the resets off here. But, I mean, all that does, I think, for Bethany is just buy them a little bit more time in the game.
Yeah.
It buys them a breath of relief, a sigh, if you would. But, I mean, that's like best case scenario if you're looking for Bethany.
They are indeed, as we see the last ditch effort here. Solura takes up so much damage. You can see the entire team of Maryville is focusing on Solura, which gives Bradley the in and Wizardish the in they need to get the damage off.
I just want to say, Chippies is so broken, man. This guy is so good at League. Like, just look at how Bethany are trying to play this. The Vikings are trying so hard to walk into Maryville, but that GP ultimate basically kills almost all of them. So now, Maryville, they're going to start up the Baron here. They have the Talia wall. Oh, good hook from Shady.
Yeah,
they can go for this.
Goes down. There's a stun on Chippies. There's the Baron, though. Evan RL secures it. And you see Bethany immediately pull out. They need to be ready for the defense that has to come once these Baron minions start flooding into their base.
Ooh, Mazel, this is like Bethany super up against the wall. Like, they have a Baron, they have a bunch of inhibitor, like their min inhibitor is going to get sieged upon on this next wave.
Yeah.
This is like do or die yet again. You need to keep making these like miracle plays if you want to have a chance back into this game, because right now, I mean, again, we were talking about it. Bradley finished the second item. It's a Spirit Visage.
Yeah, it's going full defensive here. At least partly defensive, sorry, not fully. But it's also that, you know, Bradley got a ton of gold from that fight. All the kills that were going over, the lead did not take any chunk out. So like that's the unfortunate part, is you are able to take something that feels really good, but in actuality, what does it do for you as your back's up against the wall, as you said, trying to save your inhibs as they're going down?
Yeah, it's all about materializing the gold lead. What do you get from that? What do you turn those kills into that can actualize into the game and become somewhat of an advantage, or something that you can use as a kind of way to win the game? And it just gives Bradley the ability to finish items. Maryville are not able to end the game on this push, but I mean, they have another Cloud Drake coming up, and with more and more CDR cooldown reduction coming down,
they want
that
the
is
inhib
huge for this. Oh god, they're going for the perfect game. They want every single. Oh man.
They want to get some freedom of movement if they get that third inhib, where you just have all that pressure given over to you. As Bradley was kind of scouting it out, trying to make sure there was nothing crazy going on in the jungle. But as you see, everybody's pressing up. The wave's about to start crashing here. And maybe Bethany, this is their spot to take the fight. They won the last one they took up here, but there's the Weaver's wall coming through to block Wizardage off from the rest of his team. The flank from Hunter. They can't get over the wall, though. The Weaver's wall's finally gone. Stand United comes out. Auto Orange flashes away. Evan RL is still untouched there. Gets the kill for Chippies. And the Maryville, with the gold lead, with the gigantic wallets that they have, will secure that fight, and more than likely the game. That's a triple kill for Chippies, making a double for Odd Orange, and a full, complete, total ace to round out game number 2. Maryville University 2-0 up in this best of 5.
Okay, Maryville statement victory yet again. They want to do it very strong, and what can I say? These OS players are sick, man. Like, Chippies is so good. Chippies is so good. Again, all of these players, I think, played incredibly well. I think Spyrax had a fantastic job and was definitely enabled by some of the other members on his team. But, I mean, these team fights are coming down to who has the bigger wallet at that time. And so far, Maryville, each and every time, they're coming on through, and they want to make that bid to be the most winningest collegiate program in all of North America.
You know, Niles said 3-0 victory, easy for Maryville. Looking really, really, really nice right now. I have to jump into that little prediction there. But Maryville come out with some statement games, some statement wins, looking like the Maryville we always have known them to be. And Bethany need to find something. They've got to find an in into this series if they want to make it a long one. But after landing a second decisive blow, Maryville will bring us to match point in this series. And to find out how they did, the State Farm Analyst Desk will be breaking down all the action right after this.
Gaming.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the 2021 College League of Legends Championship. We have wrapped up game number 2 of our first semifinal, Maryville pulling up 2-0 within the series. And I think it's fair to say that a lot of them players were definitely standing out. We'll talk about them in just a little bit. But first things first, the hands were not shaken before this game. We got to see Viego actually come through here and make his first appearance in the round of 8 and beyond.
Yeah, so Viego, you could definitely see, even though they were down 12,000 gold, this champion is really insane if he gets one reset in a team fight. Like, just the fact that they were even able to fight, like 10k gold down, like shows how strong the champion is. But there were a lot of bad things happening early for Bethany. I'd like to highlight the first gank around mid at the 2:45 timer, where I think this is actually the right thing for Bethany to do, where they have the Ram skipping camps to gank the Renekton mid, who has Ignite, which is a really good thing to exploit, right? TP versus Ignite mid lane, usually going mid as the TP side is really important, and they end up securing the bot crab. They get Renekton's flash, they almost kill him. Really good stuff from Bethany. So I think that what's really important is after you get the flash from Renekton and you score bot scuttle, you need to play off of your support timers, and they did not do that, and there was a huge shady diff in the bot lane.
Yeah, so speaking of that, we're about to see a shady highlight reel. Here we're going to see the rest of this gank and kind of, I do think that, I will say this, I think that Bethany came in with a team composition that they were comfortable with, right? And that they knew what they had to do. And because they got set so far behind by, one Mr. Shady in the bot lane, on the Thresh, that is, this was the difference maker here. He was out of lane constantly. He ended up getting a kill on the bot side to begin with, and then just really spread his pressure mid. And so this also points out that they knew where they wanted to attack, right? We put Bradley on a playmaker like the Viego. This is what we wanted to see from Bethany. And Maryville were like, okay, we are going to shove mid in. We are going to send Shady. The duo lane is going to be wherever Shady is, to borrow a line from Royal Never Give Up with Ming. And we're just going to attack this Viego over and over and over again. And this is what ended up, was being the huge difference maker for Maryville, was how little Shady was in lane. Yeah, I was curious to see his duo procs, 43%. So he was immediately out of that lane. We talked about how important it was for Hollywood to get out of lane for Bethany, but obviously Shady, first of all, leaving the Thresh up for him. This is one of his signature picks, and has been for a really long time. His Thresh is incredibly clean. It's just so good. He can control an entire game on Thresh, as he did here, and then getting him out of that lane was also super important, right? It's important for both of these supports, and in here, I think he was in mid almost as much or more than he was in the bot lane for the beginning of this game.
Yeah, and so going into the series, we talked about how it was going to be the 3v3s around mid lane that were going to decide this game, and you see both teams really drafting for that, especially on Maryville's side. They have the Renekton Talia combo, super well-known combo, right? We saw this especially at the beginning of this year. They're still able to pull it off even after the Talia nerfs, and so both supports going mid, right? Shady was the first support to go mid because he won bot lane, and so it just snowballed so much. When Renekton's in the game, the snowball potential is just ridiculous.
It was very much called out that Bradley would be a focused point on the side of Bethany when he is on those playmakers. And Shady just did not want to stay in the shadows. He made sure that he was there where the action was going down every single time. And Maryville, even on red side, looking really, really good. But we do know that they have selected to go over to blue side going into the next game. So Niles, I mean, if you're looking at the level of play we saw from them last game, I think they are being very proactive to go towards these victories, to try and get the 3-0. But on the side of Bethany, what are you looking at for maybe they can do differently going over to get themselves a counter pick, or what?
Yeah, so I think that the triple bans on jungle that they had last game, where they banned the Udyr, Morgana, and the Rumble away from Orange, I don't think that's very effective. Usually just throwing an Udyr ban and then trading Morgana Rumble is pretty good in my opinion. So I want to see them get away from the triple bans on jungle, and if they are going to pick Viego, maybe pick it on their third pick on red side, and then ban counters away from it, because they took it too early in the draft, in my opinion. Just blinding it 1-2, just like sort of saying like, what you got, right? And they got a Renekton, right? They got a big crocodile, right? So I don't really like just throwing the Viego out there just blind. So I want to see that from Bethany. And from Maryville, I mean, you don't really have to change much. If they're going to leave Thresh up, pick the Thresh. If they're going to leave Udyr up, you just take the Udyr, right? I think Maryville has a lot of great first picks because there's the Sen and Tom Kent, there's the Thresh, there's the Udyr, right? And I think those have to be the 3 bans from Bethany if they are going to get a draft advantage, and then also not just randomly blind picking Viego.
Also, we're shouting out some of the other players that we saw. I mean, Chippies was getting a lot of props from the casters there in the later portion of the game. And we're talking so much about what Shady does to set this up and have that proactivity. But Emily, I think that the rest of the players also did a great job of capitalizing upon those moments.
I mean, people forget that Chippies was at MSI in like 2017, I believe. He has like actually extensive competitive experience in the OPL prior to coming over here. So that's another thing to highlight. And I know that Maryville have said that Chippies specifically has been a really huge voice on the team for them since joining. And he brings kind of a wealth of experience from, again, playing in the OPL for so long. So I think like obviously his gangplank was kind of their late game insurance, right? Because you look at this team composition, you're like, okay, they obviously want to attack early, especially they want to get at the Viego super early, right? And Chippies was there. Oh, by the way, gangplank scales insanely well and just gets insane barrel damage once she reaches a certain point. So they reached that point. He got that topside triple kill, and that's what ended up closing out the game.
Yeah, and I think that Chippies has been a really big performer in the series. Both games, just laning really well, getting CS leads, and able to team fight well in both games. Especially the first game, he was a big contributing factor to why Maryville won. So I expect that he'll do the same in Game 3.
Great play from Chippies. Thanks to Maryville. We got to see the Renekton mid for a second time this week. I am happy about it.
Love
but I want to see more. Maryville, with that game, they did put themselves into point position to get themselves into the grand finals, whether it's a Renekton or otherwise that can push them there. We'll find out. Or if Bethany Vikings manage to keep this series going. We'll see you on the other side, friends. Don't miss it.